Welcome to Popternative, where we dive into topical discussions from the worlds of pop culture, social media, and sports. Here is your host, Peter Remoliotis, aka PD Beats.
Hello and welcome to the Popternative podcast. This is the podcast where we have digital discussions from the worlds of sports, social media, pop culture. Every year in the NHL, many players have an opportunity to kind of hear their name called up and start their journey as professional hockey players. That is the NHL entry draft, and this is our NHL entry draft special where we are talking to three prospects that will have a chance to get their name called up. We have three players that are we have one player from each of the CHL leagues. I'm quickly going to introduce the panel. First, we have forward from the Brandon Wheat Kings. We have Stelio Mattheos is with us. Stelio, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me.
No problem. We have from North Bay Battalion in the OHL, Brady Lyle is with us. Brady, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Peter.
No problem. And we have from the Acadie-Bathurst, the Titan, we have from the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League, Antoine Morand is with us. Antoine, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. Stelio, let's start with you. You just got back from the U18s in Slovakia, and that was, you said before we started taping, that was a very good experience for you as well. Just to kind of talk about that experience and your experience in the last 2 years with Brandon, where you've had the ability to kind of play with a lot of really good players. Talk about how those experiences has elevated your game, looking ahead to your NHL draft.
Yeah, well, I'll start with Brandon. Just, last year especially, we had so many great players on our team, like Provorov, Quenneville, Harlock, and you just learn so much from those guys every day, just how hard they work and how skilled they really are. It just kind of motivates you to work harder.
Absolutely. And Brady, I mentioned it, like talking to you. You played for the North Bay Battalion. You have the privilege, a lot of people would say, for playing for your hometown because you are from North Bay. Being familiar with the arenas and the culture and everything, especially when you started, that must have been a lot easier for you.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I love playing in my hometown. It's, always nice. You have the support of your family at every game. You always know, they're going to be there for you. And you always know that you're going to have friends and family and just people that you know in the stands kind of wanting you to succeed sort of thing.
Absolutely. And Antoine Morand is with us from the Acadie-Bathurst Titan. And Antoine, we've been talking throughout the season, and right before the season started, you told me, get ready to watch our team. We have players that are going to be really dangerous. We're going to make an impact. And you guys did make an impact. You had a very good season.
Yeah.
Would you say that this season you had specifically is one you'll remember for a long time?
Yeah, for sure. This season it was great. All the player was very on the same page, and a lot of people don't take our team seriously. But we had a great season. It was awesome.
Absolutely. And specific questions about your game, Stelio. We know that you're a forward, a power forward, that you put the puck in the net. But growing up, were there any players that you modeled your game after, or you looked up to because a lot of people, with the NHL draft around the corner, there's going to be a lot of comparisons that people are going to make. But are there some players that you think, oh yeah, they're comparing me to that person? That kind of makes sense?
Yeah, they compare me to Matthew Perreault playing for the Winnipeg Jet. But growing up, for sure, all Canadian kid, I was watching Sidney Crosby, and it was my role model. But I'm not that type of player, but growing up, it was my role model with Taves too. So I trying to look at their game, what they're doing good to make their team successful. I try to do it on the ice.
What about anyone else, like Stelio and Brady? Did you guys have specific players you...
I liked Jonathan Taves, my favorite player growing up. And once the Jets came back, I like watching Blake Wheeler too.
Yeah, because that was your team growing up, right? Winnipeg Jets.
Yeah, well, it was a pretty big deal for me when they moved back. I was, I think, in grade 6, and pretty cool day.
Yeah. Yeah, that must have been cool. And does it ever come to mind maybe like, hey, maybe I could play for that team one day? I mean, obviously you just want to get drafted still by any team, right? But I'm sure that comes to mind sometimes.
Oh, I mean, I'd be happy to go to anywhere, so not really thinking about that or anything, but just I was always a fan of them growing up, for sure.
Absolutely. And Brady, you're the only like defenseman on this panel. But any defensemen specifically that you looked up to growing up?
I mean, a guy that I obviously like to watch now, Brent Burns. He played for the Battalion, so I talked to Stan about him a lot, like what he was like as a guy and as a player. And obviously, you see the success Carlson's had in the playoffs here. Those are like two guys that I kind of try to model my game after. Those puck moving, offensive kind of guys.
Absolutely. And you see it. You all three of you play in the CHL, and especially around World Junior time and around playoffs and Memorial Cup, there's a lot of media coverage. There's a lot of people coming to games want to interview you. A lot of players enjoy this because it's preparing them for the stages once they go pro. And we'll start with you, Antoine. Do you kind of see all of this as preparation for the next step? And when someone wants to do an interview with you, what goes through your mind, and knowing that maybe sometimes tough questions will arise in post-game interviews, but it is part of the whole process, right, Antoine?
Yeah, for sure. It's good to have an interview. You get ready for the next level, and I always like to do interviews, so it's good doing it, practicing. And at the start, I was not very good, but after a couple interviews, I was getting better, so it's good.
And Brady, you might have too a lot of like North Bay reporters maybe want to specifically talk to you because like the hometown connection there. I mean, do you kind of see that as learning every day, kind of how to deal with media, how to deal with people? I think that might be an advantage for you too, because maybe a lot of people would like to talk to you specifically because you are from North Bay.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like pretty much every time we have reporters show up, like on Wednesdays, that's when our media day is. Someone I've got to say something to someone. So yeah, it's preparing me for the next level for sure. Always trying to support your teammates in those and just try to give the best answer possible.
And Stelio, you mentioned it with Brandon. You played with a lot of high-profile players. You've played with John Klumbo. You've played with Ivan Provorov, Nolan Patrick, who they say might go number one in the NHL draft. So in those game situations where there's a lot of media coverage, I guess that being involved with that atmosphere, do you think that is like an asset and that kind of helps you, prepare for the next stage, whether you're at the combine, whether you're at the draft? Does that ever come to mind?
Yeah. I think I always try to play my absolute best, like no matter who's watching, but definitely just watching those guys too and how they handled the media was really helpful when I was 16, and I think you can learn a lot of things from the way those guys carry themselves off the ice as well.
Mm-hmm. And Stelio, we're also seeing social media. I honestly think is becoming more and more big with hockey players, especially Instagram. But I've had a lot of players on the show in the past, guys, and there seems to be a split down the middle, 50-50, in terms of players that use social media a lot and players that don't use it. A lot of people love to post some photos here and there, but is it safe to say that you players as a collective are mostly like active in terms of reading news, but you're not going to post much, but my question, Stelio, is does social media play a big factor in your career as a professional athlete down the road, do you think?
I don't know, like I think it's more just a fun thing for a lot of us, and I think it's obviously taking off in the last few years, and I'm not really too sure how it is with the career, but I think it's more just having fun.
Yeah, and Brady, do you agree with that as well, or do you have anything to add about that as well? Because there's going to be a lot of negative things on social media. You see it all the time. And sometimes it might be hard to cancel the noise. That's why we've seen teams just kind of, for big games, just kind of put it aside. They don't touch their phones for the whole week or the whole tournament.
Yeah, I agree with Stelio though. Like, I don't really use it that often. I'll post a picture here or there, but it's good for I don't know, keeping up with things that are happening around you and around the league and in the NHL and just things you're interested in. But yeah, I don't know. I just kind of use it as something to do when I'm bored, sort of thing.
And Antoine, in the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League and with Acadie-Bathurst as well, social media is a very big part of the community and the fans. And you're someone that likes social media and enjoys using it as well. But also the fans are communicating with you and interacting with you. And you've told me in the past in interviews that you enjoy that aspect of it as well.
Yeah, for sure. But with social media, you always need to be careful on what you post and what you say, because once it's on the social media, it could go very very big. So you need to be careful, and I think it could be helpful down the road. But like I said, you need to watch what you post and use it at your advantage.
Absolutely. So, a little bit of fun question. I want to go around the panel right now. We'll start with Stelio. Is there something about you, whether it's a hidden talent or like a hobby or something interesting that people might not know about you that you could divulge for us? Is there something that people maybe won't realize? If there's a hobby besides hockey that you did growing up, if there's an interest you have, is there anything you could tell us, Stelio?
Um, I don't know. In the summer, I like to be outside quite a bit, and I'm pretty big into fishing. So that's that's kind of one hobby that I really like to do in the summer.
Anything like that people don't know about that is kind of
Uh,
not as obvious. I mean, you're not giving me much here. I mean, yeah, fishing is a big with hockey players.
uh, it's a tough question. I might need to think about it.
All right, so we'll go to Brady. Anything come to mind, Brady?
I don't really know. I'm kind of a simple guy. I guess when I was younger, I used to play piano a bit, so some people might not know that about me.
Antoine, what about you? Anything specific?
I actually play guitar a bit, so
Oh wow,
sometimes, yeah.
something people don't know about me. Huge wrestling fan, biggest wrestling fan. I still follow the WWE. Like that's why I've had a lot of guests on my show that were in the WWE as well. So I think that's becoming more obvious. But yeah, no. And so yeah, the NHL draft is this month, and it's a big step, and it's kind of hard to not think about it, especially when you have big tournaments or big games. But Stelio, it's always going to be in the back of your mind since day one, right, Stelio?
During the season, you try not to think about it too much, but now, you're starting to get excited for it, and it's going to be a big day for myself and my family, and just really excited for it.
And Brady, what about you? I mean, this is a big year. As soon as day one of your draft year, the work it just starts right away in the summer, looking up to the regular season, and there's just so much that goes for your mind, and there's so much to prepare for, right, Brady?
Yeah, for sure. It's always in the back of your mind kind of thing, but you got to keep it. You can't really think about it too much, as it'll kind of stop you from playing to your best. And yeah, I mean, now though I've been off for a while, it's starting to think about it a lot, and something I'm getting really excited and anxious for, and hopefully it goes the way that we kind of want it to.
And Antoine, you were a high draft pick in the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League draft. So obviously, NHL draft, junior draft, completely different. It's like the next level. But you kind of had that opportunity to kind of answer questions as maybe like a high pick. Do you think that your experiences with the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League, specifically for you, Antoine Morand, have allowed you to kind of prepare for the draft and kind of see maybe what's in store more than maybe other players because you've experienced like other drafts and the media attention as being like a top 5 pick?
Yeah, for sure. QMJHL draft is pretty big in Quebec. It's kind of the same thing as the NHL, the setup and everything, but NHL is just a big step, and for me, it's always been a dream. So that day will be very nice for me and my family. So I'm looking forward to it.
Absolutely. So Stelio, a little bit of scouting right here. What kind of player? I know you guys are going to be really a little biased here because I'm literally telling you to give yourself kind of a little bit of a scouting report. But Stelio, if a team is interested in drafting you, what type of player are they going to be getting from you specifically?
I'd say like a skilled power forward. You know, I like to play a 200-foot game and work really hard every game.
Brady, what is the team gonna get from you?
I think they'll get a skilled puck moving defenseman, a good skater, doesn't spend a lot of time in his own end, and a guy who'll bring his all every game.
And Antoine, what are some NHL teams gonna get from you, Antoine?
I'm a good offensive player. I can produce a lot. I play on the power play, PK too, and I'm a competitive guy, and I always give my best when I'm on the ice.
Great. Well, I think we're gonna wrap up this episode. I wish all three of you best of luck in June for the NHL draft. Enjoy every moment of it. Enjoy the nervous aspects of it. It's exciting. It's a fun time. It's going to be memories that will last a lifetime. And Stelio, closing remarks. Anything you want to say? Where can we follow you on Twitter, Stelio?
S Mattheos 7. Thanks for having me, Peter. Appreciate it.
No problem. I'm always happy to have a fellow Greek on the show, man.
Yeah.
So it's big. And Brady, thanks for coming on, man. Really appreciate it. I know you've watched the show in the past too, which is really awesome. So thank you for sharing that with me in a couple of days. I'm glad that I was able to have you on, Brady.
Yeah. Thanks for having me for sure. And a good show you have here. I really like watching it.
Perfect. Thank you. And Brady, where can people follow you on social media?
B_Lyle22.
Awesome. And Antoine, thank you for coming on the show. With a little bit of the social media work I do with the Quebec Junior Hockey League, we've been in touch this year as well, and I wrote some features on you. But it's great to see you grow as a player, man, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you for having me and what you do for me. It's very nice. Thank you.
No problem, guys. Well, this has been Pop. And Antoine, where can people follow you? On Twitter?
Antoine Morand, 17.
Awesome. Well, this has been our NHL 17 draft special on Popternative. Thank you, Stelio. Thank you, Brady. Thank you, Antoine. You can catch previous episodes of our show on YouTube, SoundCloud as well. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of the night.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube. Be sure to like Popternative on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.